that had an ant problem. Ants go through a protein and sugar cycle separately. So if you're laying out poison, you have to figure out which cycle they're in and lay out the appropriate bait.
Oh, interesting. Why not just do both and poison both of them?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a big brain move.
Yeah, I've also heard as well, like you can also do things where you can lay out, food like out somewhere further out in the yard and like kind of give them their own space and just drive them that way. And then they'll generally just leave your house alone. So could be multiple approaches.
So what
But yeah,
what,
I'll
what you're
ask.
saying is start a massive breeding program about 500 feet from the house.
Yeah, they're gonna find food somehow, I guess. But or you can just plant it in your neighbor's yard and ship the
Nice.
problem over to somebody else. But yeah, I guess I got to get used to semi-tropical jungle life here, which is plenty of insects in the area, which I suppose is how it goes. Hello, Martin. Good to see you. All right. So as we're ramping up here, today's topic is going to be our crypto wallets and walking through and answering questions. And we wrote up some nice documentation thanks to Pineapple as well. So let me see if I can pull some stuff up over here. So you guys aren't hearing like the lawn getting mowed in the background there? Oh, okay. Awesome. This mic is great. Filters out so much. All right.
Yeah, you're not stuttering either.
Yeah, I'm on a different Wi-Fi this time around. So thankfully it's working so far.
Fantastic.
Okay, let's see here. Got my page up. Hello, Robert. What's up, Elijah?
Jeremy?
Let's see here. Let me ping also Fakama. So how's your weekend going so far, guys?
Chilling.
Yeah, it's been good. Did my
Actually, how's the weather?
virtual baby shower this morning.
A virtual baby shower. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it all on Zoom and you guys are live streaming the opening of the presents and stuff like that?
Yeah, for me it was. Everybody else was in person. It was me and one other person were. But it's my third virtual baby shower this year, so I've kind of gotten it down. I've figured it out.
That's great. Okay, I pinged some of our other folks here, and what I'll do, I'll start sharing screen, and yeah, we'll just jump into talking through crypto wallets. And actually, maybe I should open this up on the website. Bear with me here. It's super distracting. I got like an ant crawling on my laptop right now. I'm just like, ugh, get off.
Could be earwigs.
All right. It could be what?
I said it could always be earwigs.
What is that? Earwigs.
Oh, damn. They're like little millipedes, and they have
pinch.
pinchers on their butt.
Yeah, they suck.
Oh,
I think it's a New
really?
England thing, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them.
I had no idea.
Thankfully. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, so for today, I was hoping to just kind of go through all the various crypto wallets, and answering any quick questions that you guys might have had. Hopefully, you're probably all familiar by now, judging by the group here. But it doesn't hurt to give a refresh so that you guys are better equipped to teach others, essentially. And are we beginning already? Recording. Nice.
Yes, we are. Before we jump in that, because I know that's going to be a big discussion, Elijah, are you able to answer Martin's question about how you get the role to get pinged for the good alerts?
Oh yeah, so what you can do is use this command I added called self roll, and I will provide the syntax in the chat. It allows you to give a role to yourself, and there's going to as we um, progress in our Discord, there's going to be more roles that you can assign to yourself. For now, it's just the do good alerts. So if you type self roll and then space do good alerts, the name of the role, it should add it onto your profile.
Great, thank you so much. And yes, we are recording.
Awesome. Thanks, Elijah. All right. So just letting you know that we are continuing to put together different user guides to help folks onboard and get adjusted to the whole like crypto blockchain space and all of Leyline stuff. And so special thanks to Pineapple for really putting a lot of this stuff together. He's been doing that almost since the very beginning. So this is a page that's linked in our Discord channel as well as on the website. I believe we have it under our is it our FAQs or help pages? One of our channels here. Maybe it's in a start here channel. But we'll focus on today are the different user guides that we're going to start to create for all of our crypto and blockchain knowledge. So one of the common questions we get are, what crypto wallet should I use? And a lot of people that are coming into this space basically have not been exposed to any of the different options that are available in the market. And what I've put together here are some key pointers around what are the various crypto wallets and the reasons why you should have multiple, and then how to make sure that you're staying safe and secure as you're using them. So it's super important that we pay attention to this, because there's you're going to be storing a lot of your assets and a lot of your value in these wallets, and it's going to be potentially pretty easy for a hacker to steal that information and that data if you're not if you're not being secure. So I think it's really important that we all get very well educated and very fluent on this, so we can protect yourself and then also help others too. So this document here kind of goes through. Oh, it's weird. The formatting's a little bit off. Hang on a second. Let me actually share a better version of this. Pardon me. Okay. Can you guys see my Notion page a bit better here? Oops. Okay. So the first thing is you actually are going to need a crypto wallet to store both your cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Clayton, Cardano, etc. You also use the wallet to store your NFT assets. And what is more interesting is that over time, more and more websites and apps and what they call decentralized applications will support wallets to actually log in. And a good example of that is OpenSea, for example, where you can log in with your MetaMask or your Kaikus wallet, and it actually serves as your account, where not only do you have your tokens and can you transact, but it also creates your identity and your profile on the application itself. And final, and probably most important, is that you're using your wallet to actually transact by sending money from peers and friends and family, but also purchasing goods and services at actual retail places or shopping online. So your wallet is going to be essential for almost everything you do in the internet over the next in the future, and it's already getting some pretty wide adoption nowadays too. But there are a lot of different cryptocurrency wallets. So what Paul has done is actually created this handy spreadsheet that kind of breaks down all the different types of wallets that you can get, everywhere from hardware, paper, mobile, desktop, and as well exchange accounts. And there are pros and cons to using each one, and a good reason for them to exist as well. So it's important to know how you want to leverage and also store your assets on the various wallets that are out there. And just by a quick show of like hands, or just pop it into live Q&A, um, do you guys already have a crypto wallet? And which ones are you guys using? If you want to pop it into chat in the live QA channel, just so I get a sense of who knows what and who's equipped with what. And then while you guys are typing, I will start to talk through some of these. So the I think one thing to consider is that as we're building up all of our different digital assets, whether it's through staking or through transactions or people sending you money or you investing, um, it's always important to think about what is your long-term storage for where you're going to store a lot of your assets. So in the same way that people have a safe in their house and they're storing either cash or gold or silver or something inside that safe, you also want your own long-term storage version of that in the digital world, in the crypto world. And that's what the hardware wallets are best designed for. So some examples of this are the Ledger or the Trezor. I personally use the Ledger Nano X. These are basically, think of them as just like, USB drives that are specifically positioned to secure your digital assets. And it means that your coins, your crypto assets, your tokens are living on this actual device and secured by it. Is probably the easiest way to think about it. And it's actually the most useful in terms of long-term storage because it doesn't have to live on the internet to secure and to store your assets. It's extremely difficult to hack. Someone would have to get their hands on your physical device, know your code, know your passcodes, know your seed phrase. And because a lot of the input is actually based on a hardware device, it means that keyloggers and other hacking tools are not applicable either. So it's definitely one of the safest ways you can store your assets. However, the problem is that it's also a little bit less convenient to use. So if you're doing day-to-day transactions, like you don't want to be stuck on your ledger clicking a bunch of buttons every time you need to make a transaction. So try to think of it as something that you want for the safest security for your coins, but but for day-to-day transactions is not going to be super convenient. So you have to kind of balance the utility. So one thing I definitely recommend for anybody that's just getting started in crypto, if you're thinking about investing or storing for the long term, it's to me an absolute must that you should have a hardware wallet where you're storing a lot of those long-term assets. Gonna pause real quick here. So yeah, we've got folks at MetaMask and Kaikis, Uphold, Kaikis, Atomic Wallet, good. All right. Okay. Yes. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend you guys, as you're thinking about the long term, consider getting a hardware wallet. It does cost money to invest in it. However, it is totally worth your time, and totally worth your investment to put this somewhere safe. The second bit here is actually a paper wallet. And this is largely, okay, if you have zero trust in any kind of device and a hacker getting into that, you could go with this solution, which is very similar to the hardware wallet, but it's like, it's basically kind of guiding you through how you record all the information on a piece of paper. And all of this is really just based off of these encrypted keys and seed phrases. This one is going to be even less convenient than a hardware wallet, but probably the safest possible route if you're down for that. But then for what I've seen in the chat, the most popular appears to be the mobile wallets. And so these are things, mobile wallets and desktop wallets. These are what we often call hot wallets. So cold wallets are the hardware off the internet storage solutions. Hot wallets are the ones that live on the internet all the time and are usually, app-based or actually built into the browser. So mobile wallets are actually, very portable. You can actually install any given app and still use the same ID or the public key, and use it on any device that you need. So the convenience here is extremely high because you can basically log in wherever you want, but it's also higher risk. So because you're using these mobile apps and you're using these different browser extensions, you're more subject to hacking. So a recommendation here is that if you want to be your safest and also balance your utility, keep most of your long-term investments and storage on your hardware wallet, and then keep a relatively smaller amount in your mobile wallet or your desktop wallet, so you can actually do your transactions. But in case anything goes wrong or goes bad, you're not losing all of your major assets. So yeah, try to keep your small amounts here for a short amount of time, and think about it more as like your checking account versus saving account with your traditional bank. So yeah, some of the wallets that we recommend here are Token Pocket, Exodus, Atomic Wallet, Trust Wallet, but literally there are dozens, and it is important to do your research as well, independently, just to make sure that you're feeling comfortable with the wallet you have. And a lot of it also comes down to the user experience as well, and what makes you comfortable. Was
Feel
there a
remiss if
question?
I didn't mention the Finny wallet at this point. Koi's new wallet that they're coming out with. I got to figure out what separates
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Yeah, I think what we can do is we'll continually to update the spreadsheet here, and all the different wallets that we're vetting and testing, and our community is also vetting. I think we can add them in here, so that way people can have direct links to know that, okay, these have been tested at least by this community, and we can recommend it. But yeah, good
So
call. Thanks.
I have a security question while I've got you interrupted. You were saying
Mhm.
that paper wallets are more secure, but I'm assuming that if someone's managed to sneak a keylogger on your system, then the hardware wallet might be the most secure. If you've got a hardware wallet, a keylogger is not going to compromise you, right?
That is correct. So with the keyloggers, because on a hardware wallet, you're actually inputting a PIN every single time on the device itself. The keylogger has no way to detect that. So I think it's the same way as well with the paper wallets, where you're literally just writing it on a piece of paper, the actual information. So there's no way to a hacker could capture that input. So I think
Oh,
they're equivalent. Yeah.
okay. I thought a paper wallet, then I must have misunderstood. I thought you were just writing your seed phrase, entering it in every time you needed to access your funds. Is that not the case?
Uh, no, no, actually,
Okay.
you're doing it just to store it that one time. Because your seed phrase, you should generally like never input it as much as possible. It's more for storage, and you're only going to use your seed phrase if you need to restore your account, or set it up on some new device.
Okay. I guess I got to look up paper wallet then. You lost me. It's the
Yeah,
first time I'd ever heard of it.
yeah. Um, so yeah, great questions though, Chris. Um, other questions on chat I should jump into? Let's see. All right. Okay. So the other set of wallets here are your exchange accounts. So this is actually quite important because generally everyone is going to need an exchange account if you're going to be converting your crypto into fiat currencies or local currencies like USD or euros or RMB or whatever. So think of like the exchange as like if you're in an airport and you see the currency exchange counter. Uh, these crypto exchanges are basically that, except for crypto to fiat currencies. So what happens on these exchange accounts is that they have their own custodied wallets that sit on their back end. So when you're trading and sending your cryptocurrencies to those wallets, those are actually not your wallets. They're sitting on their exchange. And ideally, you don't want to be storing your assets there long term. That's really mostly just for converting from local currency into crypto and vice versa. But this is the highest risk that you can have by leaving them on exchange accounts for a number of reasons. One is the exchange itself may be shut down by the government, or they may shut down overall if their project like goes under, or they run out of money, or any sort of like unexpected consequence. and in large part because it's a centralized project and a centralized company. So what you want to do is only put money into the exchange that you're intending to convert into specific cryptocurrency, or convert into fiat to then move into your bank account or to cash out. But beyond that, don't store your coins there because you don't actually own those coins, nor do you have control if they decide to shut down, or even if they have an outage on their servers. You'll actually lose access to that. So it's important to only use this for short term and only when you're doing conversions. Otherwise, move it to the other wallets that you own and you control. So it's just important to know that because a lot of people tend to store a lot of their assets on exchange accounts, not realizing that there's a lot of risk involved in that. So, I do want to also emphasize that, folks here have got MetaMask and Kaikus, etc. These are essentially hot wallets as well, which I would categorize under the mobile wallets. And I mean, we could add it in as a browser wallet too. So it follows pretty much the same principles as the mobile wallets in that they have the high portability and utility, and it's actually kind of essential for logging into a lot of the DApps now, like CryptoVoxels or Sandbox or OpenSea. So also just use the same mentality there, which is keep just the right amount in your MetaMask wallet that you are using to transact on a day-to-day basis. But any long-term storage, start to move those tokens and cryptocurrencies outside of that wallet onto your ledger. So yeah, that's just a very rough, quick overview. And yeah, would love to answer questions that you guys might have or concerns.
Yes. Can a wallet be Whoops, wrong choice of words. Can a wallet be a hot wallet and a cold wallet, or can it just be one?
Yeah, they're
One.
usually one. At least to my knowledge, I've not seen. I mean, yeah, I think like once you identify as cold wallet, it means that you're basically off the internet and can be stored wherever. Um, However, I mean, if you want to think about the utility of cold wallets, the Ledger, for example, does have its own companion mobile app where you still have access to view your assets. You can use it to transact, but you still do need the device with you in order for you to complete the transaction. So there's always some kind of hardware device offline component involved. Other questions?
Martin asked, "What are options for storing clay other than Kygus?"
Okay. Yeah, actually, we're working directly with the Clayton team, and the one they do recommend is Token Pocket for the mobile wallet. I believe that Clayton's also supported by a couple of hardware wallets too, but I still need to research this actually. I apologize. So that's a homework assignment for me to identify the right hardware wallet. I think Ledger might support it already, but I have to double check. So yeah, one thing we'll add here is what hardware wallets support Clay. Great question, Martin.
Okay, totally random question, but I know someone's gonna ask it eventually. Status of Clay gift cards.
Oh yeah. Well, Jamie, I believe, is still going through all of the claims and sending them out. Is hey Paco. Are we Yeah, Paco, actually, do you have an update on where we stand?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have been catching up just today, not so much today, about the request. I think Martin can confirm, right, Martin? I think I have sent a couple of transactions to him as well, and yeah, well, it's going fine so far. I hope anyway that we come up with a better and faster process anytime soon. I mean, We're one step away from sending the clay in pigeons. So yeah, anything else would be better.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've learned a lot from this process. I think one thing we wanted to do is just make sure that it was we'd be able to get the transactions in place and send it out and figure out our wallets. So now that we've experienced this, we are definitely going to be automating that process. So one of the things we have on our backlog now is once you actually start to claim your clay on the website, we'll actually ideally just have you guys have your wallets directly connected, and we'll just send it straight away. But we have to figure out the mobile use case as well. So yeah, pretty soon we'll just convert that over and just make it all as automatic as possible because I think I poorly designed that whole process when we implemented this. So it was a big pain for us to get sorted out efficiently. So yeah, lots of learnings, but we'll
It's a
iterate
good
on it.
test. It's a good test base. I think it
Mhm.
can be done. It's pretty fast, and we yeah, there are some cool learnings on the way we could do a bit better. I mean, in the way we are doing with this, people like Martin or others like they have made several requests. So possibly we can come up with a system which we can see them all in one go, for example, which would allow us to also save some um, clay on the gas fees and all that.
Mhm.
It's been fine though. Yeah.
All right. Other questions?
Yeah, Robert asked, what are Brave rewards, and is that another form of cryptocurrency?
Ah, yes. So yeah, Brave Rewards. It's actually a really cool system implemented by the Brave browser team, and yes, it does result in cryptocurrencies, which are called BAT. So they're Basic Attention Token. So what the Brave team has done is they've created a cryptocurrency that's focused on basically advertisements. So when you're in the browser on Brave and you sign up for the rewards program, it'll actually display advertisements on the browser. So they block automatically most ads, and then they have these opt-in ads where if you choose and say, okay, yeah, I'll view this ad, you actually get credit for viewing that. So it's like they're paying you for your attention, which is the right way to do it. So the more ads that you end up viewing on the Brave browser, you actually collect your BAT tokens. And so BAT is actually real cryptocurrency and worth money. And the way it gets funded is that these advertisers buy those BAT tokens. So that's how they're getting money into the ecosystem. So yeah, if you are not allergic to clicking on ads, you can get paid for it in cryptocurrencies, which I think is a fantastic way to balance out that ecosystem. So Brave browser is fantastic. Highly recommend them. I use it myself too. And I do believe that BAT is a pretty strong cryptocurrency thanks to its like a pretty fair model that they use. So yeah, if you aren't already using Brave browser, highly recommend it. They are it's one of the I'd say it's probably one of the most like pro privacy. It's a faster browser. It's quite lean. They're building more and more features into it, including like VPN services and password services. And they are also compatible with all Chrome extensions. So they use the same exact Chrome extensions that you see on Chrome anyway. So it's for me, it was like a perfect replacement for Chrome.
And there was no learning curve.
Yeah, super easy to pick up.
Nice.
Yeah, so I kind of anticipate because of their like crypto reward system, as more people like realize, oh man, I can just earn money for my browsing. It's really going to take off, and a lot of people are really onboarding onto Brave. Like they're growing incredibly fast, so it'll be one of the top browsers, I predict. Yeah, agreed. It's a very like highly performative browser for sure. It's really solid, and it's in fact created by the guy that created Firefox and Mozilla. So he took all that talent and just started applying it into the crypto world. So very, very, very smart team, very strong team behind it. Hey, Cap Allen, good to see you, man. All right, other questions or comments or
Question
feedback?
for Paco? How about a question for Paco?
Go for it.
Oh, he left. Oh, damn it. Go ahead.
Nice try.
Should be in
I know
bed.
I keep bothering you about this, but do you know if we can still, if we're able to like buy NFTs on OpenSea?
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm enabling a collection here. But yeah, I mean, do you mean, sorry, excuse me. Do you mean
Clayton.
buying yeah, actually, I did a test today, and we have a new image from Haley being sold there. It was minted
Hmm.
in our platform and transferred into our Leyline profile for Clayton, and it's going to be sold there. So yeah, we are going to gradually add more images on the Clayton profile of Leyline.
Okay.
Um, it's not very intuitive. It's not quite easy for the moment, but yeah,
Understood.
it can be done. So we will do it.
Good.
Yeah, and we're working pretty closely with the OpenSea team and like giving them a lot of feedback around their current user experience. So they still got work to do, I think, to better surface and make the whole Clayton NFT purchasing experience better. But even on our side, I think we're going to continue to focus building out our own marketplace where you'll be able to trade directly. So right now you're only able to trade via Leyline points, but we'll soon be migrating from that to switching over straight into crypto purchases. And I think what we'll actually migrate away from trading with Leyline points because what we realize is I think Leyline points really represent this, you can only really earn them by doing real, volunteer work or good in the world. So instead of earning it through trades, it's only going to be through your volunteer activity and your do good activity. So then we'll switch the marketplace to be more focused on trading for crypto and then ultimately trading for fiat currencies and local currencies. So that'll probably be the last stage because there's a lot of legal parameters when you start trading for straight up dollars. But that's essentially the plan where you can basically take these NFTs and trade them anywhere. So we'll have the ability to trade on our marketplace, but you can also just export them, take them to OpenSea or take them to other open platforms, and you can trade them over there as well. That's the vision. Hey, Ibrahim. Good to see you, man.
Hi, I haven't been here in a while.
Hey,
Yeah, welcome back. I love the profile pic.
How you been?
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, we're chugging along. Got a lot of making a lot of different progress here. We just went through crypto wallets overview, and I see a
Oh, I
few questions
actually
here.
bought one from the redeemed it, but I have to like I got an email saying I have to like give them my wallet thingy, but I don't know the
Yeah.
how to make the account.
Ah, okay, yes. So we actually have our guides available, but the main thing I think what you can start off doing is create your Kaikis wallet. So just you can even just search in uh, you know browser, say Kaikis wallet, install it. It's a browser extension for Chrome or for Brave. And once you've got that set up, you can get your address and we'll send it over to you. So just go ahead and email us back. But yeah, we've got the user guides as well. So I think we could post up the link in the live Q&A chat, and you could walk you through the guide.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, welcome to the crypto world. That's some real cash that you got. Oh, and by the way, I think next time around we could also talk about how to stake your coins. So that's the next layer, which is once you've got your crypto wallets and you've got your actual crypto assets, a good chunk of these you can actually start to use to build your own passive income. So in particular with Clayton, you can actually stake your coins. And so the benefit of staking is twofold. One, you're actually contributing to the network itself. So staking your coins is a method through which the network actually validates transactions. So you basically stake it in order to help maintain a network. And as a reward for doing that, you're actually paid out in actual coins. So the way it works is that in the same way that you would leave money in a traditional bank account and earn an interest rate, like a annual percentage yield, you would earn that in the crypto world. And what's funny is that in the traditional banking world, like your APY is probably like 0.1%. And in some instances, it's now -%. Certain bank accounts are charging you money to hold money in their bank account. But in the crypto world, you're actually going to be earning anywhere from like 8 to 15 to 20% APY, which is ridiculous. So what I recommend is now that you actually have Clay coins, you can actually go to claystation.io, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah, claystation.io. That is their staking platform where you can log in with your Kaikus wallet and then stake your coins. So when you stake it, you actually lock it in for a period of time. It could be like 7 days or shorter period of time if you want. And then once you do that, you're actually earning and accruing more clay coins for how much you put in. So I believe I think they're offering something like let's see, so you can earn 5.67% interest rate or 9.54% interest rate, depending which staking pool you join in on. So yeah, since you guys have your first clay coins already, you might as well stake it if you're not going to spend it right off the bat, and then you start earning.
Now, when you're staking clay, all you're doing is saying, I'm going to keep it here. You're not actually fixing it at a particular level. You can still rise and fall with the market, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. There are different ways to leverage your coins in the whole DeFi space, is decentralized finance. So there are more advanced ones, which are called like yield farming, and those will lock it in at a certain price. So there is risk involved with it. The returns are way higher, like you could see 20 to 30% interest rates. But the basic staking to run the network is totally fine. You'll still retain the value of your coins.
Now, some of them, when you stake, you also have responsibilities, right?
Um, I believe so, but depends on what you mean by that.
Like you're a validator, you get polls to vote how the system is going
Oh,
to make decisions.
I think there are projects that allow you to have voting rights. It's not a responsibility, but more like you have the access to do that. I don't think you're required to do voting. But yeah, depending on which coins you own and what projects you're involved in, owning and staking and then using your tokens allows you to do more and more things involved with governance of the project and with the protocol. So yeah, it's a crazy world, honestly. Like it'll continue to improve and expand in terms of responsibility. In fact, it's on our pathway as well, where by owning specific Leyline tokens, we want to actually build in more governance into the community and kind of governance in the project itself, where you'll be able to draw up proposals on, hey, this is where we think Leyline's, fee structure should be, and then the community can vote on that using their tokens and have access to change the way we implement the platform. So that's the future of how we're going to build governance into our organization. And this pathway is actually called the DAO. It's a decentralized autonomous organization where the community gets to dictate the future of the platform. So as we start to mature, that'll be like our kind of phase 2, phase 3, evolution where we turn into a DAO.
Ooh.
And these are, yep, go ahead, Chris.
This is probably well beyond where we're at. I'm just wondering, in this new kind of evolving space, how do we, not to use a bombastic term, but how do we prevent something like a hostile takeover of a DAO? How do we prevent like corporation from kind of going in and buying up a bunch of shares so they can influence the direction of what's supposed to be a community effort?
Yeah, we're gonna need to bring in experts here to help us craft that strategy. There are ways to do it, which is like, the number one thing is obviously limiting the amount of tokens that could be bought by any particular individual or wallet or account. But yeah, I think those are big challenges we'd have to address. There are ways to counter it, but I don't have all the answers right now. And I think the easy thing when it comes to Leyline is that we want to kind of avoid these pathways in where you just can spend a bunch of money and then you get all the power. Like really, a lot of your assets that you're going to accrue here in Leyline are earned by doing good in the world, by volunteering with our partner nonprofits. Like ultimately, that's how a lot of this should be taking place. So we want folks to be able to spend money into the platform and into the ecosystem, but in terms of the kind of privileges you net as a result, largely that needs to be coming from this earned value versus paid value.
Thanks.
All right. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Do you have any questions? What would you like to know? Oh, you're kind of lagging, by the way.
Martin did bring up that it'd be useful to have a Q&A on how to declare tax on crypto.
Oh, okay. Yes. We will take note of that. That one's going to be funky for sure because we need to get experts across many different countries. Martin, where are you based out of? Okay, in the US. Yeah, let me see if I can dig up some like expertise here. It's yeah, it's doable. And I think we've got the right network to kind of bring in that kind of information. So let me put that on our list of possible things, possible topics to jump into. Thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, put a timestamp on it because it's going to be changing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, like even the stuff we went through today is already going to rapidly evolve and change too. Yeah, and Martin, if you have like some resources or links that you have used in the past that you find reliable, please do share. It'd be great for us to even just collect that knowledge because a lot of this is very much like there's not as many reputable, reliable sources that are out there, and most of it is like we're kind of gathering that information ourselves and just learning. So I think as a community, if we can kind of pull together knowledge in a grassroots style, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it is definitely trickier. Um, and there are actual tools that can help you, record and pull out like your transactions from the exchanges. Like they're actual tools you can link up to. I think some of them are paid or some of them are free. But if you're trading crypto a lot on exchanges, for example, that could be a pain to report as taxes. So they've created some services that help to ease that process. All right. Cool. Well, I sounds like we might be through all the questions on crypto wallets and whatnot. Anything else I can help you guys with or inform me about, even with my limited amount of knowledge?
How's the family doing?
They're doing pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm very far away from them in Bali, so I'm only able to catch up with my kids over video, uh, which is nice in itself, but certainly not enough. So I miss them dearly. It's yeah, pretty tough, I have to say. But my hope is get to see them soon. Maybe fly them out here to hang out in Bali for a couple months, and give them a cool international experience, some interesting homeschooling, and be part of this international community. So yeah, I'm excited to see if we can make that happen. It's just quite tricky because the COVID, the Delta spike has actually been increasing a lot here in Indonesia. So they're extending like quarantine times when people fly in, as well as just continuing lockdowns. So it's quite tricky. They actually canceled my flight back to the U.S., so I've got to figure out how I'm gonna handle all this travel stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, and it seems like LA is spiking as well when it comes to Delta, or just I think some pockets in the U.S. are starting to spike, so it is a bit of a concern. Yep, I am currently stuck in Bali. Oh, congrats, Martin, getting your first shot. Um, but yeah, Robert, COVID is it is increasing here, but they were locked down for about a month, and I think in a couple days they're going to be opening back up again. So like restaurants and bars can actually start up again. Um, I don't know whether or not that's going to contribute to more cases, but we'll find out. It's Yeah, it's a bit concerning. It seems as if like Delta is um, quite contagious, and it seems as if it's also potentially overcoming a bit of the vaccination progress that we've made.
Did you see the
But
new
that is
Cape Cod data?
no, I did not. Can you?
They did a study based off of it. It was only 300 and something people, but Cape Cod's a very isolated community, and 74% of the cases that were Delta were people that had both immunizations or both vaccines.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yikes! Yeah, that is definitely concerning. And I think that, biologically, that's just a big challenge where, just the more and more you have the virus spreading and replicating, the more probability there is for mutations. And then the probability of mutation being resistant to or being different enough that the existing vaccines don't apply, or get stronger or whatever. We're just basically rolling a dice the more and more we let this sucker continue to replicate. So
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
I walked past an outdoor music venue tonight, and there must have been 300 people there, and maybe about a foot apart, and I didn't see a single mask.
Hey, yikes. Yeah. So and like it's a very tricky world. Like information and facts and truth are actually quite difficult to decipher. So it's something to just be very mindful of. What information you're looking at, what science and what data. And I can understand that some people may feel a sense of safety and comfort after having been vaccinated. So maybe they're not as concerned, but then may not also realize that hey, the variants have evolved, and like that safety is no longer applicable. So it's very tricky, very very tricky. Um, and I don't know all the answers to the facts either. So just trying to pay attention, but worth playing it safe. I think, um, given how nasty. I'm just hoping we don't have another repeat of last year. I'm hoping we could make some real progress, but things not trending the right direction, unfortunately. And Kaplan, how are things going in India in terms of COVID pickup and spread? Are things starting to level out, flatten?
It was getting better actually, and then we started easing restrictions over here because people have got to work and stuff. So yeah, so we are currently seeing a spike. Restrictions are slowly being put back in place, I guess. So I'm still
That's
working from home, and I actually got an exam today. So
ah,
yeah,
gotcha.
uh,
And
yeah, but just hoping that things can go back to normalcy as soon as possible because
Right. Well, was it on heavy lockdown out there for a long time? And are they starting to
For a
open
bit,
things back up?
yeah. Then they slowly started to open up again. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just
All right. Okay,
mm,
that's good. Yeah, and it's hard to decipher, just because one, like the numbers are so big, but it's also depending on your community, on your local area, you can get a totally different sense of what's happening.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So it's again very tricky. It's hard to come by like the hard truth and facts, but we must be vigilant, that's for sure. Anyway, I
Push
hope all
comes
you
to
stay
shove,
safe
though.
Yeah.
regardless.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, I was just saying, push come to shove, though. Did anybody really suffer much in the way of hardships just for wearing a mask and like keeping some elbow room between you and your neighbor? I mean, I'm not talking about the complete restrictions, but the best thing we can do is the social distancing and the masks, and it really doesn't seem that much of a hardship to me.
Yeah, I personally had no issues. Um, yeah.
Well, it's impressive over here. I have every weekend now here in France. There are demonstrations in most of the major cities about people against the sanitary pass, the healthcare pass, some type of documentation that the government will enforce in case you want to go to a restaurant, for example. Initially, even for supermarkets, however, they decided to go back on this decision on the supermarkets. Yeah, arguments are not very strong, right? People generally say, I refuse to give my healthcare information to a bartender. But at the end of the day, in the same way that when you pay with a credit card, you're not giving all your financial information to the bartender. Uh, the people should just get the vaccination and shoot a damn QR code, and that's it. I'm very annoyed, with this thing, how people can be so in, incredibly selfish at that stage, after this last year. I don't think we have learned much.
Yeah, and well, I think I try to look as well behind like where a lot of our decisions and behavior are coming from. And that's why I'm just so deeply concerned about misinformation. I think a lot of what's happening is, depending on where you get your information from, and largely like on social media, but even mainstream media, there's a lot of like bad actors, behind the scenes, like crafting a specific narrative. And I generally tend to favor more scientific studies more than anything else. But even the science is, got its own, potential pitfalls. Like for example, even though the vaccines I think are quite effective, it's also worth noting that hey, we rushed the heck out of this vaccine. Like this is the fastest any vaccine's ever gone to market this quickly, so we literally have not been able to measure any kind of long-term effects of such a massive rollout. So it's always something to just be very mindful of, is that we don't know all of the facts yet per se. And we are running this just gigantic, massive, fast experiment with, injecting a bunch of mRNA into everybody. So we're playing a very interesting game here of balancing out the benefits of putting a clamp on COVID, but introducing something like radically new that's not been properly
This
tested, or at least tested in the way we've usually done it.
it's not radically new, right? It's a variation of the SARS. They didn't actually start from scratch. Even this,
Mhm.
even Spain is about to present their own vaccine. Come on. So
Mhm.
it is. It's.
Yeah.
I think it's worth the risk. You see, Pfizer did something else, and nobody. Those blue pills. I don't think most of the people using them even read the instructions. So
Yeah,
it
yeah, for
is.
sure.
I think it's worth to take the risk for this one.
Hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, like I'm vaccinated, so I've already kind of jumped in. And I think like it's just what I'm just very wary of is depending on what narrative you end up getting exposed to on, say, social media. um there's always this element of we've got to be so vigilant to dig in behind who's writing it, what are their motivations, and what are like the hard facts behind it too. And I think for a lot of people, that takes a lot of energy and a lot of work, and most people won't put the time in to do that. So, en masse, we have this risk of people getting swayed by a certain narrative that may not necessarily be true very easily, and it happens very quickly. So, it's something that I just have a lot of concern over in terms of how people are getting their information and knowing how to decipher what's true and what's not. Um, so, it's something I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't have any like conclusions coming out of it, but I feel like to solve the misinformation problem, we definitely have to create new models of how we decipher what's true. And I think the blockchain world can present some solutions in this area. It's going to take some time, but with better social media platforms and media platforms coming out of the blockchain space, there's some more we can bake in some better inherent trust, and also just change the incentive model so that way it's not about manipulation, it's more about abundance. Anyway, sorry, that was very abstract. But I'll get
Well,
into that in
You don't say.
teaching critical thinking skills in school wouldn't be remiss either. Um,
Mm,
I didn't know
mhm.
if you'd seen. I'm assuming a lot of people saw this, that they're using some of the mRNA research for COVID and developing an HIV vaccine.
Oh, sorry, can you say that again, Chris?
They're using the same techniques they used for the mRNA COVID solution to develop a HIV vaccine as well
Yeah, yeah, totally.
after all these years.
um Yeah, and Martin brought up a good point there, which was that mRNA was originally designed to treat cancer. So yeah, it's actually it's an opening for many solutions thanks to this new technology, which is super exciting. I really really love it. Um, so I think it's fantastic. We if we can find cures for cancer and a host of other diseases, this is it's a huge win for humanity. So I'm super excited. So yeah, lots of good things coming out of technology as well as bad, and it's all about vigilance and seeking truth
And moderation.
and moderation. Good call, reference. But humans are not really good at moderation, unfortunately.
Yes.
Although Bex and Pineapple, excellent moderators, I have to say. Good
Thanks.
issues. Wah, wah. Love the conversation, guys. Yeah, anything else you guys want to catch up on? Just hanging out, chilling. I'm getting like bitten like crazy here. My ankles are full of bug bites now. Oh my dear. I have a fun itchy day today, I think. All right. Oh, cool. Thanks for that link, Martin. Yeah,
Awesome.
actually, you know what? That is so interesting too, because what's now going to be happening is with the advent of 3D printing and people open sourcing, a lot of biological research, people can actually manufacture, stuff pretty easily, and that could be both solutions and cures and treatments, but also viruses. So there's a very very crazy world that can emerge when people can start to just print out whatever biological product that they want. Kind of scary, kind of awesome, but also very, very, very scary. Yes, Robert, same thing. Same here. I totally really appreciated Boink for what it was doing to help solve some big problems. Yeah, 100%, man. That's what I kind of worry about. We'll find out though. But we'll say that as a topic for next time, going into bioengineering and crowdsourced DNA printing. Let's see how things play out. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. It was good catching up. If you have any questions, just keep on hitting us up in the community, and I'll catch y'all later.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Everyone.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
All right.